So welcome back to the channel. Today is the build video for the Tamiya Frog RC kart giveaway. So if you have not already entered or you're not subscribed to be able to enter to win this car, please consider liking and subscribing. Today we're going to build the car. If you want to look at how you can win this fantastic giveaway prize, click the link above and you'll answer 2 questions and you'll be able to email the answers to me. And then basically, yeah, you're in the running to win this fantastic RC car. So I've already built a very similar car in the past, the Tamiya Brat. Very similar chassis. A few little differences in body posts and wheels and tyres. But overall, it should be a very similar build in relation to the chassis, the gearbox, and just the overall construction of the car. So I'm going to crack on, we're going to build this. I'll do a little bit of a montage of some video and some pictures for the build, and then I will just probably bring the camera in and show you and just a few updates throughout the video. So please stick around, and as I said, please consider liking and subscribing. Check out my previous videos on how to win. I'll also put some details in the video description as well. So let's get on with it and show you this fantastic car come together. Okay, so we've got everything spread out here. We're going to start the build of the Tamiya Frog. Now the first part is basically the first page of our instructions is we're going to be cutting out the main chassis from the parts tree. Now if anyone hasn't got a set of these Tamiya side cutters, I highly recommend getting a set of these. It's an absolute ease and a breeze to cut out any of your plastic parts off trees, and it's just quite simple, getting nice and close to the actual part that you want cut out and just cutting it out. Very simple. They're nice and sharp, these side cutters, and basically what you end up with is you end up with your chassis parts cut and you don't have any of the ugly sort of plastic tabs left on any of your plastic parts. So that was step 1 through to step 6 there, guys, and as you can see we've assembled the chassis. We've got the servo mount in, we've got the front bumper bar and the front hubs and suspension setup. Now obviously it runs like a friction shock setup in the front. It actually kind of looks like it'll work quite nice, and as I said, I have built that Brat chassis and the front suspension does actually work quite well, and obviously we have the oil dampers on the back. So the next part of the build, now that we've built the front end and most of the chassis, is to get on to part 7, which is constructing the gearbox, and that's where we get to choose our ratio of what we want to go with. So I'm going to go with the high speed ratio gear setting on this build, and it should give it that little bit extra top end speed for some awesome fun. Okay, so we're up to step 15, which is the shock absorber installation. So we've got the chassis, we've got the front suspension, we've got the rear swing arms and the gearbox on, and it's coming together absolutely beautifully. It's been a really nice kit to build, and as I said, it's very similar to that Subaru Brat build. So up next, like I said, we've got to put the oil shocks on the rear of the chassis, and then we'll obviously start to probably build the wheels and whatnot and chuck some of the electrics in. So far, absolutely loving it. Fantastic build, and I cannot wait to get this one finished. Okay, so we've powered through to step 18, which was installing the motor in the back. So we'll just briefly discuss. We've got the shocks on. They're very nice and smooth there. We've got the gearbox mounted to the back of the chassis. We've got our 540 motor installed, and I'm going to bypass all the steps from 18 to 22. They're just installing the electrics, because I want to get the wheels on it and have it as a rolling chassis, and then we'll put the electronics in later on. So I'm going to fast forward to step 22 and start building the wheels. So we've got to build these up and install the tyres, and then it will be a rolling chassis. So as you can see, we are basically finished with the chassis build here. We've got the wheels, we've got the tyres, we've got the motor. I've just put the steering servo in to stop the wheels from moving around. So let's have a little look at the chassis up close in some nice picture form. And then I'm going to bring it back. We're going to go back to step 19. We're going to then install all the electronics into the car. We'll turn it on, make sure it all works, and then we'll do a little test run, and I'll tell you what I thought about the build and anything just to keep your eyes out for in the instructions if you are building in one of these in the near future. Okay, so the build table is now clear, everything is on the car, and obviously I've flicked to a couple of little videos and a couple of pictures of it complete, and I'm absolutely blown away with the finished result. It's come up really nice, and it's because of the open sort of chassis. I was able to hide the wires quite nicely and place everything inside of the chassis, because that's one thing that I do like when I'm building cars, is to have neat wiring. It's just one of those things that I like to do. And obviously, once we get on to paint and decals, we'll get the driver figure mounted and painted, and that goes on the back section of the chassis here, so that'll sit over some of those wires as well. And yeah, all in all, I can highly recommend anyone that's looking to build a very, very nice, simple and rewarding kit, the Tamiya Frog or the Subaru Brat, because they're very, very similar. They would be an excellent kit if you can get your hands on one. So, but if you can't get your hands on one, obviously we're giving one away. So hit like, hit subscribe, check out my previous video with all the information about how to win this fantastic car. And there was a couple of little things throughout the build that got me a little bit frustrated. Was mounting the rear tyres. They were an absolute nightmare to mount. One went on quite easy, but the other I struggled for about 10 minutes at least and ended up with very sore fingers. And I have seen that a lot on some of the forums out there. But the front tyres, guys, they went on quite easy. No problems there. You just got to make sure that you use the right screws for the tyre wheels. Sorry, the ones on the back are longer, and if you put them on the front, they'll knock on the inside hub. So that's another thing to look out for. But all in all, it's a very simple, very easy kit. I would recommend this to anybody who is either experienced or a beginner in the hobby, and absolutely fantastic. So don't miss your opportunity to win this car. As I said, check out my channel. All the information on how to win it is there. So up next, we will do a paint the body and do the decals. So I really want to go, I don't want to stick to the box art paint job. I really want something different, something that's going to pop instead of the pink. So I'm thinking of keeping it white, and I'm thinking of going like a metallic and a really metallic green colour along the bottom, and introducing some of that metallic green into the sides of the wing as well, just to make it really special. Because it is a giveaway, and I really want somebody to be able to look at the car and say, hey, I won that. That was built by RC Action Australia, and you know, it was a fantastic kit. Whereas I just think if we go the box art, it's just a normal frog that anyone could have built. So yeah, I actually have checked with my local hobby shop, and they don't even have the pink paint. So for me to actually get this out on time and get it you know, moving along through that paint stage, I'm probably going to have to not go with box art anyway. So if anyone's got some other colours in mind, I have seen blue, I have seen green, I've seen yellow instead of the pink. So chuck some comments down below. But until then, I've got a few other videos that I'm going to put out on the channel, so it'll give plenty of time to enter, obviously to win the car, plus comment and sort of give me some ideas around the paint scheme. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.